Hey, World History Scrimalia here, the end of World War II. We're going to talk about the Holocaust, Hitler's death, VE Day, Yalta Conference, atomic bomb, Japan surrendering, Nuremberg trials, and Cold War. So you've read about the Holocaust and the systematic murder of 6 million Jews. Millions of civilians died in this war. The Allies, including the Americans, bombed civilians. It's one of the legacies of the war, unfortunately. I also want to talk about the death of Hitler. Hitler killed himself. He had been living in a bunker in Berlin under the ground, and here's a model of it. And when the war is being lost, he's kind of losing it. And instead of being captured, he commits suicide with Eva Braun, his wife. Here's Goebbels and his children. They also killed themselves instead of being captured. Loyal to the end to Hitler. So Hitler is the first to surrender, or Germany is the first to surrender. We call that VE Day. And here's a statue being toppled. And when they surrender, the Allies, there's Churchill, Roosevelt, and Stalin, are going to decide at the Yalta Conference to divide how they're going to divide up the war. Unfortunately for the Americans, Roosevelt dies, and we get a new president, Truman, and he is going to have to make a big decision. He's told about this new weapon, atomic bomb, and he decides to drop it on the Japanese. So it's a big question in World War II. What do you think? Was it right for the United States to drop the atomic bomb on Japan? Some people, lots of people say it is immoral. Some people say, hey, it ended the war. This also leads to thinking about another one of Hitler's big mistakes. Why didn't he develop an atomic bomb? He had all the best scientists, but he had decided not to. So it's another one of his big mistakes. Nuremberg trials. The civilian death toll was a reason for post-war trials on war crimes. Acts that violate the customs of war, including killing civilians and crimes against humanity. The most famous is these Nuremberg trials. Here's Goering put on trial for these crimes against humanity. He's found guilty. A lot of the Nazis just killed themselves instead of doing their time. The end of World War II, you see all kind of a pie chart of the deaths. You notice that up there, it's China and the Soviet Union who take the brunt of the losses. This will lead to what we call the end of World War II, to the Cold War. You see how the map, the blue and the red, it's the communism versus democracies. There's basically, they call it the Iron Curtain between them. Both sides, it's not a literal curtain or wall, but it might as well have been. The Cold War is from 1945 to 1992. It's something I grew up with. It is the communist states versus the democratic states. They don't go to war with each other because they have nuclear weapons, but they are at a near state of war. So that's the end of World War II, and I hope you have a great day.